Hi there, friends. I thought today I would go over some of my 2026 knitting plans with you. I'm going to use my trusty little iPad here and go through my Milanote. I'm not sponsored at all. They don't know about me, but I see a lot of other creators who knit utilizing Milanote, and I've started to use it myself, and I really like it. Definitely recommend. But again, not sponsored. They literally don't know I exist. So anyways, I'm gonna go through that. I did think about doing like a what I knit in 2025. However, it is February now, and I feel like I'm a little too late to the trend. Also, I started knitting January of 2025, so I just reached my first year of knitting, and though I've created a lot of really amazing things, cough cough, I'll put it up here, me creating my Citizen inspired As You Please sweater is probably one of my greatest accomplishments of the year or of knitting thus far. I don't know. I just didn't. I think maybe I'll make one next year when we start 2027. But I think for now, let's look ahead to 2026. I now feel like I have enough experience to really create a lot of the things that I want to create. And I'm excited to try a lot of new things heading into 2026. So let's take a look, shall we? Here on my 2026 vibes, I don't know what I just did, is the Crooked Cardi. This is by, I believe, Simstrick. I've already purchased this pattern and I have started on it. So I do have the Barocco Vintage Chunky yarn. I'll go ahead and show you kind of what I've started on here. So this is the back panel, and then I've started on the longer section of the front shoulder. It does have this really cool garter stitch detail on the shoulders. I did make a mistake already, and I did 4 rows of garter stitch accidentally somehow instead of the 2 that it's meant to do. I ain't gonna take it apart though. I'm already this far into the front, and I did re-pick up stitches like 3 times, so I'm just not doing it. I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna have 4 rows of garter stitch. It is what it is, but I will just replicate it on the other side. I don't think it should affect too much here. So looking back at our kind of mood board, I have kind of that like tan color that matches this yarn. And then I kind of have this like dark brown, and I kind of want that to mimic these like details on the sides. So as you can see, they use like metal hooks, hook closures in the pattern. And I found these ones to the right that I really enjoy. However, I don't think I want this, like, for example, up here, I don't really want this like bright gold or bright silver. I really want this kind of like bronzy antique vibe. I think that like that with this color is just going to be, first of all, more my style, but also I feel like it would just look better with this kind of like muted brown anyways. I also thought about the option of doing like a gunmetal kind of vibe, something still darker. That's what I'm looking for. Or again, here's this kind of like bronzy vibe. So that's kind of what I'm going for here with the Crooked Cardi, but I have already started on it. I am filming the process, so look out for a video on this, but it is what I'm currently working on in February. I started it last weekend, and it's a Wednesday, so that's the vibe on that. So that is going to be hopefully my first completed project of the year. Looking at some other goals that I have for the year, one of them is to knit a pair of socks. My very first pair of socks, very exciting. They will actually be for my husband. I took him to the yarn store and had him pick out whatever yarn, sock yarn, I guess, that he wanted. And he picked this Swanky sock yarn from Magpie Fibers. This is, I believe, in the shade Smokestacks, and it has just like a really beautiful array of like silvers, dark grays, browns. Like, it's so pretty. It's a really pretty variegated yarn. And I think I'm going to use the basic sock number 1 pattern by Summer Lee at the same time that I picked up the yarn for his socks, which I've had for a while. I also picked up the sock project book by Summer Lee. I know she's like a pretty big thing at my local yarn store. They absolutely adore her there. And she's like come and done like signings. So I think she had done a signing for the sock project book there. And I think they told us that she was coming out with another book. I think she like just announced that she's doing another book. So I'm sure she'll be back. Hopefully I can make it to that one. I think this last one was before I started knitting, and I was just like getting into crocheting and things like that. So very excited for this. So a sock project is on my board for this year. Now I don't know when I'm gonna get to it, but I'm gonna try my best. Next, for some goals, I would really love, I'm going to kind of zoom out here, to attempt color work. And I have 2 projects that have really inspired me and make me really want to try color work, even though, in my opinion, it seems like such a daunting thing. I'm kind of terrified, but these 2 projects are just so gorgeous that like I need it. I will just have to learn. Sorry, but like I need these projects. So the first one is actually not out yet, but it is by a creator, Be Creative Knits. I watch her on YouTube, follow her on Instagram. I love her YouTube videos. She is such an amazing and creative pattern designer. And this one she had like just recently put a video out on. She hasn't done a tester call yet, but I will be first in line for that tester call. You best believe, whether she picks me or not, I will make this pattern. But this is the tattoo cardigan. I am obsessed, okay? I need this cardigan, and I will learn how to do some color work to make this cardigan specifically. I need it. Again, I will be first in line for that tester call. Cross your fingers that she picks me. But yeah, I will be buying this pattern even if I don't get picked as a tester, and it will be on my needles this year as soon as it comes out. If it comes out this year, hopefully. The other one that, you guys, come on. I believe it's the Frey, I'm so sorry, sweater by Thea Marie. Are you kidding me? I have seen this sweater everywhere. So many people have been talking about it. What a beautiful colorwork pattern. And I know that there's like a lot of different color combinations. I think on her website where she sells the pattern, she also does bundles that has all of the yarn. And I believe she has like 3 or 4 color combinations on there for like if you're doing a bundle, and she sends you the yarn along with the pattern. But I think if I were to knit this, and hopefully I will this year, potentially, I think, and all these here on the side are Drops Air colors. I don't have the colors right now, but I'll just kind of give an overview of like the type of color I want. So I think for the main body of the sweater, I want this kind of like soft sagey green. And then for all of the details, so for example, the little hearts and the little swirlies and all that stuff, I would probably do in this really like probably a black or a really dark gray. And then for that band where the swirly color work is, that's kind of where I see on her patterns like a third color can be introduced. And I think that I would probably do like a really pretty light gray there. Are you here with me? Are you following? That's the vibe. I think that's the vibe. So those are the colorwork projects I really want to try this year. I'm so excited. I really hope I get picked for that tattoo cardigan tester. I will fly through that sucker. Day and night I will work on it. Please choose me. Pick me. Love me. No, but for real. Love Be Creative Knits. She is just, I'm obsessed with her. Every video she comes out with, I'm there. Love her vibe, love what she creates. She also did like recently like a wave cardigan, and that kind of gets into part of my next thing. I'm kind of gonna jump around here. I would love to tackle this year cables. I'd like to try a cable knit for the first time ever. And that's scary to me. It's gonna be a year of a lot of new things for me and trying and potentially failing, but that's okay. Failing is part of life. But we'll see. So anyways, so one of the things that I saw, I did just buy this, oh my God, this knitting book. This is the Knits to Wear Effortless Patterns by Kutova Kika. And this is the My Favorite Story sweater that's in that book. It is a really beautiful, like, cabled sweater. I do think this, I think it has like some baubles on it and things like that. Ooh. You guys, I'm so sorry. Hope you don't see that. Or do. Go to ResistBot. Be messaging your government, please. Anyways, so this does have like, I think it has like baubles on it along with the cables and things like that. And I think it could be like, this would be like a real labor of love. This would be a real hard task for me, I think. I have seen people do instructions on how to knit cables, like on TikTok, just like quick instructional videos. And like in my head, I'm like, I could do that. I could. It actually looks so easy and I got it. But I have a feeling that that's not gonna match what actually happens. I don't know. We'll see. But this is something I am thinking about. Now, in this pattern, she has a really beautiful, like soft, pale pink. I don't think that's what I'm gonna go for. I think this year I'm really trying to find my personal style, and I think it leans, what I want my personal style to be is a bit more alternative, kind of dark, grungy vibes. Now, my husband tells me I dress like a kindergarten teacher, so I'm trying to change that. It's what I've always wanted to be. I went through my like, we're gonna get into some backstory here. I went through my kind of like emo, scene phase, intermediate school, started it, never really left it. I still feel like it in my heart, and I still listen to, emo, pop punk, like harder music. That's just kind of my vibe. And I know I don't always look like that on the outside. Even when I first met my husband, he was like, I had no clue that you were into like screamo music and stuff. And I was like, yeah. My very first concert was Pierce the Veil and Sleeping with Sirens, their Collide with the Sky tour. Yeah, I was there. Anyways, so I'm trying to, like, I've always imagined in my head, like, that's how I want to look. That's how I want to dress. That's how I want to present myself. I feel that deep in my soul. But my mother would never let me cut my hair like all the scene girlies and boys. Like doing like all the, like huge teasing and the huge bangs and all that stuff, which I am a little thankful for now as I've gotten older. But I, as you can see, I'm, like slowly morphing into the actual version that I want to be. And part of that, let's round this story out, is dressing how I actually want to dress. I think being a curvier body type, I tend to try and find things that only really flatter me. So a lot of it tends to be flowier shirts that cinch in at my waist, so they accentuate my smaller waist, which I appreciate, but then kind of flow out for my wider hips and my thicker thighs. And I think now I'm just like, I want to marry the two. Long-winded way of saying, let's, get to the actual point that was being made there at 20 minutes later. I love this pale pink, but I think if I were really to wear this myself, I would probably want it in either a deeper gray or perhaps a really pretty muted navy blue, or like a muted purple perhaps, just something a bit more moody. I think that's going to be more my vibe here, but I would really, really love to knit a cable sweater this year. Okay, and then lastly, something that has kind of been on my list, I did buy one because I like needed it, but I would love to knit one, is a shrug of some sort. Again, I am kind of like a thicker woman. I do have lipedema in my body, and so I hate my arms and my thighs and my legs and everything about me almost. And so I don't really love to wear, even in the summer, short sleeves or tank tops without some type of cover. It's just, sorry, I wish I was body positive, but I'm not. So I think I would like to knit a shrug. I bought one in a brown color to go over a really pretty dress I had that I wore to an afternoon tea and loved it. But it did, like, there was no buttoning situation, and so it kind of kept slipping off my shoulders, and I wasn't really down for that. So there are two patterns here that I've been really interested in. First is the Eve Shrug by Sweater Babe, which kind of has this like small little just like quick little area that it meets in the middle, and it has more cinched in sleeves with ribbing. Or I found this one on Instagram. This is the Willis Sleeves by Helen Beba. And this one has more flowy sleeves and a thicker band where it meets. I don't really know which one I'm feeling, but that's not really a decision I have to make right now. But these are two things that I think I would really like to make, or just make a version of it. I think for the color, I would ideally like to knit one in just a plain black to have, because I feel like that goes with everything. But I also have, let's see, 4 balls of this, which is the Wool of the Andes yarn in the shade Nightshade Heather. It's a really pretty variegated, like it has like purples and like a burgundy, but this kind of like burgundy tone is just what it would most likely look from afar. And I think a burgundy would be really pretty, because even with the dress that I wore the brown shrug with, it was like a cream color with like little like pink and green flowers and stuff. And I still think that a maroon, like a maroon or burgundy, would go really well with that. I don't think that'd be an issue. So that's kind of an overview of some of my goals for the year. I do also, hopefully, if you guys will leave me some comments here, I'm asking for some advice. Hello? Okay. I kind of feel like a mom on this iPad right now, like, wait, how do I, wait, hold on. What? Anyways, so I did want to put this in here just to kind of talk about something that's not like really a goal of mine, but something I am just working on in the background that will not be like filmed or really anything. My mother asked me to make her a sweater. So I am using the Lana Grossa Meal and Wheat 50 and Drops Kid Silk, both in just black, to make her the No Frills sweater by Petite Knit. I have started on it. I have the collar, and I'm working on the like shoulder increases and things like that. I haven't gotten to splitting for sleeves yet. It's just like in a smaller gauge and it's kind of boring me right now. So I kind of have put it to the side. It's just like, I'll work on it on and off. She doesn't have like a deadline. She just wants a sweater in general. And of course I could probably rush it, but I don't want to. Anyways, so that's what this yarn was for. And then I have 2 other yarns that I'm still trying to figure out. Like, I do want to use this year, but I need help with figuring out what projects they would be good for. So the first thing that I have are these 2 balls of yarn that I actually got in New Orleans. So we went to the yarn shop in New Orleans. I believe it's called the Quarter Knit, if I'm not mistaken. And I know these look completely different. Like, these look like 2 different balls of yarn, but they're just so variegated that they do kind of come out differently, but they are the same yarn. It's just so different in the way it was wound. So this is the Malabrigo Rios yarn, and these are kind of some of the colors that flow through it. So like greens, blues, purples. I picked out this yarn because it reminded me kind of like Mardi Gras colors, and I wanted something that reminded me of New Orleans, right? This was my souvenir yarn. So I'm still trying to find a good project that I can use 2 balls of yarn for. I don't really think I want to do like a hat, because like I feel like I'm not going to really wear it as much. I thought about maybe like a hat and matching mittens. I've never knit mittens before, but I don't know if I use it. I'm not sure. So I need some help doing it. I did just recently make a Sophie hood. I actually have it here. This was my first finished project of the year. And I bought 2, oh, sorry. I just realized I was turning you. I bought 200 grams of this yarn, which was Woodlands in the shade Blue Jay Heather. And so it was 2 balls of yarn, but I ended up running out and had to use some of my scrap yarn to finish it up. And so originally I thought, oh, I was going to make maybe a Sophie hood out of this yarn, but I don't think 2 balls is going to be enough. So I need something that would be more reasonable. And lastly, I have I think 10 balls of this Knit Picks Oceana worsted weight yarn. It's so pretty. It is so gorgeous. It is in the shade Lanternfish, and I know this photo doesn't really do it justice, but it has this beautiful bright green core to it with black fuzzy, so it literally looks like it's lit from within. It's so beautiful, which is why I bought so much. It was on sale, and I am a Knit Picks ambassador, so when I do certain posts, I do get just credit put towards buying my next haul of yarn. Is pretty much it. I don't get paid and I don't get sponsored or anything like that. They just I just get credit put towards me buying more yarn to promote, pretty much. And so I bought 10 skeins of this, but I am curious. I just made the Sonia sweater. That's the pattern that I used for my Citizen As You Please sweater base, basically, and then I duplicate stitched on top of that. Again, shameless plug for that video. It will be linked either in the top cards or down below. But I bought 10 balls of that yarn, which is similar to this Knit Picks Oceana. It's the Drops Air. They're pretty much the exact same consistency, the same type of yarn. And so I only used maybe 6. So I have quite a bit of the Drops Air left over. And knowing that I have 10 of this Oceana shade, I wonder if I'll have the same issue where if I make a sweater, I'll still have just a whole bunch left over. So yeah, I'm trying to figure out. I may just make a super basic sweater. I can maybe make a poncho. I don't know if I want to make a cardigan. I'm super glad to be working on the crooked cardi, but sometimes purling not much, especially because I am a thicker bodied woman, you know, I have a lot more stitches on my needle. So I'm like, do I want to purl that much, right? Like I'm already doing it for the crooked cardi. I don't know if I want to do it again for another cardigan, but I don't know. If you can, please comment down below. Give me your opinions. Give me your thoughts. I would love them. And that wraps it up, you guys. I think that 2026 is going to be a wonderful year of crafting. I just want to remind everyone that sometimes we have to get out of our doom scrolling. And if you are just interested in knitting or crocheting, I highly recommend it. It's a great way to get off your phone, stop doom scrolling for a little bit, and kind of sit back and relax and turn your brain off. I know that it can seem a bit daunting to start knitting or crocheting, but once you get the hang of it, like, you're gonna fly by, and then you're gonna want to make literally everything, and that's the most exciting thing. And please remember that knitting is and always will be political. So thank you so much for your time. Can't wait to see you guys soon. Hopefully I'll have a finished cardigan the next time I see you. Bye.